Joining me now from California, Republican candidate for the state's 12th congressional district, Deanna Lorraine. Deanna, I really appreciate you joining us tonight. So we just kind of highlighted the obstacles that you're going to face moving forward. It's going to be an uphill battle. As we said, House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is very much so a dynamic force in the Democratic Party. Explain to me and our viewers why you're running for Congress in 2020.
Well, first of all, should the position still be called Speaker of the House when the individual cannot coherently speak? I don't know. I'm running for Congress because I am so frustrated with the direction of the country, and I'm so frustrated with President Trump being one of the best presidents in history, certainly the best president in my lifetime, but he's being totally hijacked by the left. And the left is becoming more and more communist. They're trying to turn our country into a socialist country, which it will never be. And I want the country that I grew up in as a kid and that my grandparents grew up in. I want that America that has strong families, a strong sense of patriotism, strong morals, and really strong relationships for all of us. But we can't do that. And by the way, a very strong economy and jobs. But we can't do that if the left takes over. And if we see how the left is when they're not even in power at all, which is what this impeachment sham is all about. But if we give them an inch more of power, we're going to lose the country that we love and that veterans have fought so hard to protect. So that's why I'm running for Congress, because we need a fighter in Congress. We need people in Congress who are going to fight for our Constitution, who are going to fight for our American values and the American dream, and is going to boldly defend our president. We have too many softies in Congress, too many socialists, and too many wussies in Congress, and we just can't have that anymore. So I have to fire. San Francisco is the epitome of cultural rot in America. And I believe Nancy Pelosi is the epicenter of that cultural rot. And that's why I'm fighting her.
And as we've explained, she's been in that district now. She's represented that district rather since 2013, but she's been in Congress way longer than that. So she does have a little bit of a political establishment to her. She does have a big support of maybe the more liberal-leaning voters in California. I mean, it's no surprise, I'm sure I don't have to tell you, that California is a more liberal-leaning state, if not maybe the beacon of that in the entire country. What are some of the obstacles that you foresee within this campaign?
Well, I've moved here. I lived and grew up in the Bay Area, but I'm moving back here after many years to fight her toe to toe. And so, there's not as much of an establishment base that I have here. Plus, the actual sheer number of Republicans have dwindled over the years, to be honest with you. But the number of no party preference and independent voter base in San Francisco is the largest in any other county in California. And these people, and that should tell you that these people are hungry for a change, and they're actually open to someone new. So the obstacles are clearly there. Being a Republican in San Francisco is tough. People are afraid to be bold and loud and proud about conservative values here. But I see hope, and the people that are independents and no party preference, they're actually the ones that I'm courting even the most, because they're open. They want new leadership. They want someone bold. They want a conservative. And I speak to them in terms of common sense. I call myself the common sense candidate because if you read my platform, DeannaForCongress.com, I talk about issues that all Americans should be able to get behind, no matter if you're left or right. The issues that we're fighting now are not necessarily left or right. They're good and evil. They're right and wrong. Homelessness, crime, jobs, national security, the opioid crisis, strengthening the family unit. Those are things that affect all Americans. They're real American issues, not this impeachment sham, not political correctness. These are issues that all Americans are facing. And when they see those common sense issues being addressed that are affecting them, they want to get behind me. So there is hope, Alex.
What are you hoping to do with your campaign? I mean, we see that you are very much so working on a grassroots ground level. I mean, the San Francisco cleanup is something that should be applauded no matter what side of the aisle you're from. What are some of the things that you look to use to your advantage this campaign cycle?
Again, I'm talking about common sense issues that everyone should be able to get behind and that are affecting everyone. So, for instance, I'm doing another cleanup, this time partnering up with Scott Pressler on February 1st in San Francisco. I'm doing a lot of these kinds of cleanups. I'm also, starting a San Francisco poop petition. Yeah, I know it's gross, but sfpooppetition.com. Right now it's directing to my website, but later on this week, I'm going to be introducing it formally. And everybody in San Francisco almost is affected by these feces that are just appearing everywhere. Trash buildup on the streets, needles buildup from drug users and homelessness rummaging through the streets. So these are things that are truly affecting everyone and their safety. So they can get behind a candidate who's talking about this vocally and vowing to clean up the city, which is what I'm doing.
Yeah.
The SF petition, you clean up, talking about how these issues like national security and the sanctuary cities, which I'm totally against, how those things are affecting their own families and their ability to feel safe or have their children be safe in their own backyard. Again, when I talk about them in common sense ways and say, do you believe in safety and having your children feel safe? Do you believe in a clean city free of feces and needles and trash? Do you believe in strong families in America? Do you believe in free speech? These are things, if you believe in those things, then you can get behind me and you can vote for me, because those are the things that I'm fighting for. And it shouldn't matter if you're left or right. And I've seen a lot of people coming around to that.
Yeah, it's a weird news cycle where you can use poop in a segment, but it's one that we've covered multiple times, so it's a real issue. I mean, we've gone over it a couple times, but we've been flashing your website up and down too. We have your Twitter handle as well. If anyone wants to learn more information about your campaign, they can go to that right there, Deanna for Congress. Deanna Lorraine, thank you very much for joining us tonight.